Welcome to this really, long-awaited moment of celebration. We're here today to mark a landmark moment in active transportation in the East Valley, in bringing together pieces that we have been trying to stitch together for many, many years. And the Chandler Bike Path gap has been, a significant problem in continuity of our bike infrastructure for a very, very long time. And this closure project has been in the works since we were able to apply as a Metro call for projects back in 2015. But still, until now, we haven't been able to bring all the pieces together to make this a reality. But when it is done, this bike path will be the most important east-west bicycle backbone infrastructure in the entire San Fernando Valley. This will connect Burbank with Chatsworth. And with the additional work that we're doing, adding bike lanes to Vineland and otherwise creating those north-south elements as well, it'll also tie to the Los Angeles River Bikeway, which we've invested so much time and resources into in creating that continuity as well. So the Chandler Bike Path, this gap closure will connect to the existing Chandler Bike Path, which goes all the way well into Burbank, to the remainder of the Metro Orange Line or G Line bike path, and taken all together, that will create a 21-mile continuous bike path, physically separated from Burbank all the way to Chatsworth. So that's a big, big accomplishment. So I want to thank, first of all, the Department of Transportation, Los Angeles DOT, and LA Metro, who've worked together so closely for all these years to combine the transit infrastructure that we have and the big investments that we've made in the Orange Line with active transportation investments like this to really create an important package. And with the new developments that are soon coming along the area around the portal of the North Hollywood station, that will also create greater continuity as well. So this is part of a long series of investments that we're making here. We have recreational improvements that we're investing in and that Recreation and Parks will be doing along the Chandler Bike Path, including exercise equipment and lighting and rest areas along the bike path. We've invested in the Chandler artwork and mural restoration along the bike path to make for a better experience for people walking and biking along the bike path. We've hired local artists to paint most of the LADOT signal cabinets along the corridor as well. And of course, we've invested with Metro in the Metro Bike Share program, which allows people who don't have ready access to their own bicycles to go ahead and borrow one, rent one for Metro, and use that on the Chandler Bike Path as well. Combined with the NoHo to Pasadena BRT, which is getting underway, that will really add considerably to the Vineland bike lane enhancements as well, including protected bidirectional bike paths on the west side of Vineland. And one other thing, maybe not directly, but somewhat related, I'm very pleased to say that at long last as well, by the end of this year, NoHo will have its very own NoHo dash line. And that will allow people to, again, use the dash line to gain access to this bike infrastructure, but also to add mobility all throughout NoHo. And that's been a project a long time in coming as well. So what we're celebrating today in large measure is we've had all these elements that I just discussed that have been in the works. But today, we're celebrating an incredible relationship that we have with our representative in Sacramento, who came to me and said, what can the state do to help in mobility in this area? And my first thought was help with the Chandler gap closure. If we can do that, it will have such a ripple effect in so many other things that are going on here in the East Valley. And our Assembly member, Adri Nazarian, didn't miss a beat. He said, how much do you need? How soon do you need it? Let me get to work. And he got to work, and through the state budget process, I'm very pleased that he was able to assist us with funding an additional almost $2 million in state funding to allow us to bring these pieces together and once and for all finally get the Chandler Gap closure completed. And so I'm delighted to have his partnership, and I'm very honored and pleased to be able to introduce our State Assemblyman, Adri Nazarian.
Thank you, Council President. It's great to be here. Not only is it a beautiful sunny day, and we got a little bit of rain, so it cleared up the air, but it's also a great day because you wish every day, you hope for every day being like this, where you have a wonderful collaboration of federal, state, and city governments working towards targeted effort to bring to completion something so vitally important that is also a shift in the cultural viewpoint of a community. We've been such a car society in California that investments like this are going to be the exact reason why we start shifting the culture and making people utilize bike lanes more, pedestrian lanes more, and other alternative uses more than just resorting to the traditional format of being a single occupancy vehicle, taking up space and contributing a great deal to the emission. So it's a wonderful day to be here, and it's also a day to to express gratitude. Thank you to the partnerships of the individuals standing behind me, to the partnership with the federal government, to the work with the federal government and the state can bring in most of the money, but the real work gets done at the local level. With the council office and with Metro and with the Los Angeles Department of Transportation doing the work, the innovative work of making sure how the problem gets solved. You have the engineers on one side looking at how they can construct something to make it work, make it safe, and then you have the voice from the council office ensuring that the community interests are preserved and that whatever is being put into place is functional. And it's wonderful to see also representatives from the North Hollywood Neighborhood Council present, because ultimately this is going to be used by all of us. So it's wonderful to see a 21 mile stretch now and the almost $2 million from the state going to ensure that this project is completed. So with that, thank you. And at some point, I'd like to make a small check presentation when appropriate. Now would be a good time? All right.
Never a wrong time to accept it.
All right. It's not often that we get to do this in the state, and we've been doing it quite a bit. I think we're running out of paper giving out checks. But it's nice to be in a place where you can make the important infrastructural investments in your community, in your neighborhoods, and advancing something so critical like this, where it's not only going to be everyday use, but also for recreational purposes for families. So it gives me great honor to present a check for $1.9 million from the state of California to our local jurisdiction partners.
Thank you very much, Assemblymember Nazarian, and thank you for those comments that you made about the car culture of the San Fernando Valley. And of course, just as you were making them, a muscle car goes by and almost drowned out what you were saying. But that is the way the valley has been thought of for most of my life. But it hasn't always been that way. Just right across the street is the historic NoHo Depot, which for many years served as a depot for the old red car system that provided nation-leading mass transit throughout the city, and it was very easy and affordable for people to get around without a car here. A lot of that changed over the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, but our Department of Transportation, working with Metro, is really bringing mobility back and trying to ensure that cars are not the only option. And I'm just so pleased that we've had such strong leadership in that area from our Department of Transportation, and it's a great honor as we celebrate today's achievements to introduce the General Manager of the Department of Transportation of Los Angeles, Connie Llanos. Connie?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Council President and Assemblymen. We are so excited to be here today to really be able to kick off what will be a game-changing project for the San Fernando Valley. As both of our elected leaders have mentioned, for this part of the city, it is a long time coming. This is about giving people in this community options for how they get around and to be able to connect such a huge stretch of this important part of the city of San Fernando Valley, to beautify it, to give people not only the ability to ride their bikes safely, but also with the increases in the crosswalks that we're doing, we're giving people the opportunity to get outside, to enjoy our beautiful weather, and to really be able to connect to these other modes of transportation, whether you're taking the Orange Line or as Council President Krekorian mentioned, the Dash Line that we are so excited to finally bring to NoHo, to really draw people in to another hub of activity and commercial space here in our city. This is really the byproduct of what happens when people can work together. The partnership we've had with Metro on this project is exceptional. The resources that we've been able to secure from the state, even the creative problem solving that we took into consideration to be able to make this as safe as possible, and also to preserve some of the parking that we knew was important to this community. So really, we're here to say thank you. A huge thank you as well to the LADOT team that helped us do this project, our engagement team, our engineering team, our field crews that will eventually install this work. Incredibly grateful for all of their effort, and so excited to bring this rich menu of mobility choices to people and to continue doing that with the support of all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Connie. This has been a great partnership. I happen to have the honor of serving both as council member for the district and on the board of Metro, so the partnership has been very important to me to link together city and Metro resources, and we're pleased to have with us today, to be able to celebrate with us, Holly Rockwell, who is the Senior Executive Officer in Metro's Real Estate, TOC, and TDM division, and who is really at the eye of the storm in every important project that we have moving forward with Metro, is Holly Rockwell, and I'm so pleased to be able to invite her to come up and speak.
Thank you, Council Member. On behalf of Stephanie Wiggins, the Metro Chief Executive Officer, I'd like to express that Metro is just super proud to support this project. We were able to contribute $3.2 million through Metro's Call for Projects program, which is a competitive grant program. But this project meets so many of Metro's goals. It's bridging a mobility gap, it's improving safety for cyclists, it's a first last mile connection to our North Hollywood station, which is the intersection of our B and G lines, and anticipated to be one of the future busiest stations in our system. We're in Metro Bike Share territory, so excited for future Metro Bike Share users to be able to use this bike lane all the way through. And then also adjacent to our largest joint development project, which will, in partnership with Trammell Crow, bring a new transit center, a bus electrification charging station, and 15 acres of mixed-use and mobility-focused development. I'd like to applaud Assemblymember Nazarian for the state contribution, to thank LADOT for their partnership in this project, and also to thank Councilmember Krekorian for his leadership in this project. So thank you for allowing me to be here today to celebrate bicyclists in the San Fernando Valley and this additional emission-free mobility option. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. Last but not least, the importance of these projects are not just vehicles, not just pavement. it's neighborhoods. It's building neighborhoods. It's enhancing the quality of life in neighborhoods. And here in NoHo, the neighborhood council has been such a forceful advocate for the people who live here and work here and play here. And one of the great leaders, not only of our neighborhood council, but also one of the great advocates for bicycle improvements in this area has been James Askew, and I'm so pleased to be able to invite him up to say a few words as well. James?
Thanks, everybody. I honestly just can't say how happy I am to be here today. The past few years have seen a real shift in NoHo with Metro Bike Share and private micro-mobility services. More and more of our residents are leaving cars at home for their short trips and taking advantage of the bike lanes already existing in our community. Closing this 2.5-mile gap is an important step in making it safer to connect to destinations along the entire length of the valley, whether you're doing it for fun or for business. I want to say NoHo NC appreciates the work of the LA Department of Transportation, Metro, the council president, and the assembly member in getting the funding to ensure that this bike lane isn't just paint on a road. Too many times the infrastructure we give to cyclists and pedestrians in our community is subpar and increases the risk of collisions that can injure or kill our own fellow Angelenos. This won't be the case here. A separated bike lane means safer streets and smoother rides for everybody. Alongside the re-envisioning of the Magnolia and Burbank street widening projects, this is another step in making NoHo a safer streets exemplar for the valley. I want to say thanks to everybody for making this possible today, and I thank you for your future work in expanding our Safer Streets network throughout North Hollywood and beyond. Thanks.
Thank you, James, and thank you for mentioning Magnolia and Burbank. I forgot to describe those. Another great example where here in a previous era, the vision for Magnolia and Burbank was make it wider, get more cars in there, have the cars go faster. And working with the neighborhood council and others, we were able to transform those projects into still welcoming the federal funding and the other funding sources, but making it a project that was actually more suitable to our neighborhood and suitable to all users and not just those who want to press the accelerator down in their car. And so thank you, James, for your leadership on that and for helping us to be able to do that. I also wanted to just take a moment to thank, in addition to our Department of Transportation, the Bureau of Engineering, which does so much for all of these projects, Winnie Lamb, Teddy Geberwald, and Arsen Voskarchan, who have been such great helps for our office in so many of the projects that we've worked on and will be with this one as well once the contracts are awarded and the construction goes forward. And I also want to take a moment to recognize Brad Cox of Trammell Crow, who's here as well. Brad, thank you for your support and for all you're doing and investing in improving the North Hollywood community. Appreciate your being here. Thank you all very much, and I guess we've already accepted the check. It's too early to cut a ribbon or to turn a spade of dirt, but everybody come on back when we're ready for the groundbreaking, and we'll have another celebration then.